Hello and welcome to this week's Whole Wheat Costa. That's Costa with a C.
Yeah. So not the WWK hashtag.
Yeah.
Um,
I was asked that this weekend. And so is Whole Wheat Costa with a P? And I'm like, no, Costa. Okay, so like not the pasta?
how did this? I need more context for that conversation.
Yeah. So I was a guest on another podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Dave Makes a Maze Podcast
Okay.
or Dave Makes a Maze Minute Podcast.
How'd you end up on this podcast?
Through Dave. A
Okay.
different Dave, not the star of the movie. So we watch 3 minutes of a movie, three different 1 minute clips, like
Yeah.
minute 12, 15, and 22.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty fun experience. And one guy kept asking me about my podcast,
Yeah.
and I was explaining to him, and he's like, okay, so he's like, so how's that spelled? And I was like, Costa, like Costa, and he goes, so not whole wheat pasta. And I go, no. He goes, that doesn't make any sense.
I feel like I was being a dick. I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I think he was trying to be funny, but he's not a super funny guy.
It's me officially denouncing Dave Makes a Maze podcast.
No.
Official enemy of the Whole Week Costa podcast. Denounced.
Well,
Denounced.
anybody who listens to that could listen to this one.
Denounced.
Uh, Kevin doesn't speak for on the behalf of Whole Wheat Costa.
For all of Whole Week Costa, denounced. Excommunicated.
So
if you will.
how was your weekend?
I don't know. I just worked and shit. Um, um, so it was pretty terrible because on Thursday I decided. So I haven't squatted in since I had my cancer surgery 2 months ago.
I squat every week.
Yeah, so I didn't do it a lot anyway, and I didn't do it for 2 months because I had that big incision down my back, so made me nervous. But I feel like I'm 100% healed from that. So the gym on Thursday, and I was watching a video the day before. This dude on YouTube who's definitely, I think, known for his squats. So I'm watching him, and he just makes it look so easy, right? So he goes.
Squats are easy.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, if you do them, I think they probably are. So he does the bar to warm up, and then he puts one plate on each side, and he does that to warm up. Then he puts 2 plates on, and he does that. Then he does 3 plates, and he does that. Then he puts 4 plates, and he does that. So, and he makes it look so easy, right? So after having squatted for a long time, I'm there's an open, and again, I'm at Planet Fitness, so it's a Smith squat, so it's not real, but
So you can't get full range of motion.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, but you're still using your leg muscles. You're still pushing up with the leg muscles. It's still probably better than no squats. So I go. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do that. It's I do the bar, and I'm like, okay, that felt pretty good. And I put the 1 plate on. I'm like, okay, and then I put a neck 25 on each side. And I'm like, okay, it's still pretty good. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the 2, which so I guess on the Smith would be 200 pounds, which is more than I've ever squatted or faux squatted. Flawed it, I guess. And I go about halfway down, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So I go halfway down, and I go back up, and then I go all the way down, and I go back up. I'm like, okay, I did it. And I do it a couple more times, and I get to the 4th one, and I'm at the bottom, and I had to use every ounce of strength in my entire body to get back up. And I was like, I did 4. I did 200 times 4. That's my personal record. It's fine. It's good. I'm done.
You want to hear a trick?
What's that?
Have someone else put plates on and don't look at them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then you don't know what you're lifting, and then you do it, and you look back and like, oh shit.
Yeah, no,
That's what I do sometimes.
I do think that's true. I think you can definitely lift heavier in a lot of things. Until you really challenge yourself.
Yeah. I tell someone sometimes, I go, hey, I want you to put some plates on, but don't go over 315.
Okay.
And sometimes they go over 315, and I squat it, I do great.
Yeah. No, it's true, because I've noticed that with. So I wonder what my bench press would be, right? Because so here's one thing, right? So I've talked about it before. I relied on machine stuff for too long, right? So I've only been doing mostly free weights for a few months, and once you bench press, and again in Planet Fitness, so it's a dumbbell bench press because there's not real bench press setups. But once you bench press in some fashion, I don't understand how you do anything else at the gym. Because it's by far my favorite thing to do.
What, bench press?
Yeah, and again, dumbbell bench press. But yeah, it's like, but and actually, I feel like I always like that better because my left shoulder always hurts. So when I do the dumbbell, it doesn't hurt as much.
Right.
Versus like other things, but I don't know. That's just what I want to do every. Like I don't even want to fucking do anything else. I just want to go. Like I feel like at this point, like I used to do a lot of stuff when I went. Now there's maybe like 6 things that I do.
Well,
like,
basically,
routinely.
from what I learned, that if you want to burn calories and get stronger, but you don't care about much definition,
Yeah.
you do squats, you do deadlifts,
Yeah.
sumo and conventional,
Yeah.
and bench press.
Yeah.
And then you work basically your whole body doing that.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited to squat again now after the other day. I feel like this gym down here is never super crowded. I'll definitely be able to do it pretty easily. And this gym too goes above 60-pound dumbbells. So I did the 65s last time. I'll probably stick with the 65s again, but I really wonder how much I can do because I have pretty good control of them. I can only do, I can't do 12 reliably.
The only thing for me that holds me back from going over 225 when it comes to bench press is that my wrist, I don't have proper position with my wrist. So like I can do the 225, like I'll do a couple reps, but then like my wrists start hurting. So I have to go back down and I have to get my wrist stronger so I can keep my wrist straight.
Well, I think that's part of what I like or why I don't hurt myself in the dumbbell. Because when I was doing, again, Planet Fitness, when I was doing the Smith machine bench presses, like with the bar, my left shoulder always hurt. And like doing the dumbbells, I guess I can change my arm position a little bit as I'm going up or down to avoid like putting all that extra strain on my shoulder. I don't know. So I just like it better. But yeah, I wonder what I can go up to with that. I have to go to like a real gym with you at some point because I want to see what I can legitimately bench press with like a bar because I really don't know.
Yeah, we do they do the members bring a friend one. Also, if you come with me, we can get a free workout, like a personal trainer workout.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
but we do that somewhere because I want to know what I actually bench press. I really have no idea. I don't know how the dumbbell stuff translates into a barbell. So if I do 260, I know I can bench press more than 130 pounds with a bar. I don't know how it's clearly not a 1-to-1 thing.
Hey, did you see The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
It had good reviews for critics.
Yeah.
But it had bad reviews from fans.
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about The Last Jedi.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Venom had bad reviews from critics.
Yeah.
But it had good reviews from fans.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely had to watch Venom. We were talking about it last week, whether like exactly when I should watch it. But but no. So the Last Jedi, I've seen a lot of different criticisms of it and a lot of different defenses of it. There's one dude that there's like a filmmaker that I follow on YouTube that like made a bunch of videos. Like he's made a bunch of Star Wars videos in general, and he's made a few videos sort of skirting around the Last Jedi issue.
Well, The Last Jedi was basically just a long, it was a long version of a Battlestar Galactica episode.
Huh.
Like they had to warp like every 51 minutes or something like that, or the Cylons were going to destroy him.
Yeah. But then he finally made a video which was basically like, fuck it, I'm making a half-hour video about why The Last Jedi is an awesome movie, and you guys are all assholes who disagree with me. Was the video he finally eventually came out with. But I think his most valid point about why people didn't like it. Well, he had a few reasons I thought were interesting. One was the nostalgia factor as far as the 2 new Star Wars. Because so his thing was, he sort of covered the history of Star Wars. You went back to, you had the original Star Wars, especially the original Star Wars movie, was just a space movie. Like that's all it was. Like it had groundbreaking special effects, but there were no expectations. And then you had a break, and then you had the re-releases where they made some changes, like the Han not shooting first and stuff. And he brings up the point that, the re-releases were the first time, because in like the 20-year gap between the original movies and the re-releases, I think episode I think episode 6 came out in like 1983. So, it was like a 20-year gap until the re-releases. And almost. And like, so in that gap, obsessive Star Wars fans learned everything there was to know about Star Wars, and the expanded universe stuff happened. I think like a little like around when the re-releases came out and stuff. So people like memorized these movies and stuff. And then when the re-releases came out, it was the first time that like the fans knew more than the creators, because the creators fucked the movies up and like, changed all these little things that like hurt the stories.
Time and time again, I've always, and I'll go on record in front of Congress.
Yeah.
A New Hope is a boring movie.
That is. Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Well, I think we talked about it before now. It's just a paint by numbers hero's journey movie, and that's what episode 7 is. It's,
It's not even that. It's a boring movie. Like, yeah, it's a hero's journey, but like, it's not like paced well, and like you learn about the characters a lot and everything, but why?
Well, the one thing that I thought really interesting about that first movie was, he did another long video about the cinematography through all the Star Wars, and it was really interesting with episode 4 because, he sort of looked at the cinematography, and the cinematography is really boring in that movie, but intentionally. His take on it was the idea was that, since they're showing people this sort of whole new world, and it's sort of like, and there were a lot of new, sort of storytelling things, and it was a whole new universe, and it was sort of an out there idea of the movie at the time, that they tried to make the filmmaking as grounded as possible to give people things that they're familiar with. So essentially sort of like making, this fantastical story sort of like, back to reality, making it like more of a, sort of give people familiar filmmaking tropes to like get them into the story. And then with each movie, he expands sort of the storytelling, sort of the cinematic storytelling stuff a little bit. But anywho, but the guy sort of goes through the history of Star Wars and gets to finally, the newer movies. And his point is that he feels like a lot of the people that are criticizing are people that are like our age, people that, were too old to, or were too young to see the original Star Wars stories, and then had this big gap in the middle where they probably fell in love with Star Wars because when they were 8 years old, they like watched it on a VHS, like on their like parents' couch at home and stuff. So that he feels like the biggest criticism of the new movies is that they can't make us feel like what we felt like when we were 8 years old watching the original Star Wars movies on VHS.
Well, I disagree. I think it's just bad storytelling.
In the new movies?
Yeah, it's just bad storytelling all over. Like it's it's rehashes of the original movie. Like the first one, what was the first Star Wars movie that came out?
Of the new ones?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Last Jedi? No, that was the second one.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. Episode 7, everybody agreed. It's just a rehash of the first movie. The second one was like an extended Battlestar Galactica, and it was like a rushed love story, and it was like that stupid fight, and it was just, it's bad storytelling. And I think the problem people have with it more is like, if they had just taken their time and wrote a better, more compelling story, and they just did a better movie all over, and it's like, it's like the story between the Admiral and Poe Dameron, and she's basically like, look, I don't have to tell you anything because I'm the Admiral and you're not.
Well, that's true. He's just some fucking guy.
Yeah, but
I mean, we know Poe. Yeah. But she doesn't. Who the fuck is Poe to her?
Yeah, but she's like so snarky about it. It's like, you have 6 fucking pilots. Why don't you guys just work on the same team? Like, you have a plan. If you just fucking told him the plan, which you should, because that's what an admiral does.
He was just demoted. She didn't trust him.
Yeah, but when you're like the last hope, like, all right, here's the plan. She just says, don't go do anything crazy, and he goes, well, I'm gonna go do something crazy. If she went, don't do anything crazy. Here's the plan to keep everyone alive because your crazy plan's not going to work. And then he goes do some crazy? He's a stupid character.
Yeah, but when you're...
But hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
He's a stupid character, but that builds story. She shouldn't have trusted him. But there's like he just does stupid thing after stupid thing. But if she would have just had him arrested or done something else, like it would have made the story better. Like here's what we're gonna do. Now have him arrested.
Yeah.
And then everybody, and then he escapes or something like that. And then it's just bad storytelling. It's just they
I don't
had
disagree
30
with you.
years. They had 30 years to come up with a better story than that.
I don't disagree with you that might have been better, but I don't think it was bad what they did. I mean, he's just a guy in the army. Like the general doesn't tell everyone in the army what the details of the plan are. I mean, you're like when you're in a military force, you're supposed to follow the plan.
Yeah, but when there's only 6 of them, I think they can tell everyone.
Well, is there definitely 6? That's just what we see.
Well, I mean,
is the implication that there's more guys around? We just don't see them all?
I think there was like 3,000 or 300 people.
Yeah.
It was like actual civilians and support crew and everything.
Yeah.
Most of the entire aircraft was destroyed. Like they explained to it, like Poe, it's you and like 6 or 7 other people. Like, look, here's the plan, guys. Here's how we got to do it. And for fighter pilots, the rest of the crews were actually trying to keep the 3 limping ships alive. Yeah. So it's like the actual offensive maneuvers, like they could have just like, here's what I'm planning. Anybody have any better ideas? You want to be a wildfire, go arrest him. You know what I mean? Like we're not arrest him, and like it could have been so much better. And then you have like this rushed love story, and then you have Superman Leia that she's never had any force, and then you have Mark Hamill that.
No, he's awesome in this movie. Whatever you're gonna say is wrong.
No, Mark Hamill was fine.
Yeah,
it's like the fact that like they show like they want people to believe that he's there, but he obviously looks nothing like he does on the thing. Like it's obvious.
Yeah, but they don't know. They haven't seen him.
Yeah, but we know.
Yeah,
what they're trying to do initially is trick the viewer.
I was tricked.
You're an idiot. like everybody that watched it. I just think it was bad storytelling and everything was rushed.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're wrong about some of the stuff. I think they're nitpicks. I don't think they're big story issues. But and I don't know. And that was one of so 2 things. One a thought I have. 2, going back to this guy's video I was talking about. That was another defense he had of the movie, that people bring up stuff that happens in this movie, like new force powers or like Leia being able to use the force, that like people are like, oh, that didn't happen in 30 years ago, so it can't happen now. But in the first 3 movies, new force powers popped up all the time. Like that's where they come from. So now we're learning about new ones. Like it doesn't mean that they can't happen, or like why wouldn't Leia be able to use the force? The rest of her family can. Just because we didn't see her use it 30 years ago, why can't she use it now?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You create a character, and just because you're right, and I don't disagree with you, shit can happen all the time, but you create a character and you're like, this character's completely wrong. And like even old Star Wars fans or like huge fans go, that's fucking stupid. And when you get like the general consensus of people going, that's fucking stupid, maybe it's a stupid move.
Yeah, but most people don't think that. Most people like the movie.
What are you talking about? No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
I know 100 Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
they all hate it.
Yeah, but did the general public like the movie?
But, like your son, probably.
Like 95%. What's the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie? Look it up.
It's like 93 or 83.
Yeah.
No. For the critics, like 83. For the general public, it's like 37.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up.
Right.
And I never like to look things up on the air because I feel like it's real distracting, but I feel like we have to now.
Yeah.
Last Jedi. I'm just gonna talk through it so you don't have to try to talk while looking at my phone because I feel like it's real annoying. Rotten Tomatoes. Hang on, I'm trying to. Of course, swipe texting never works when you want it to.
I turned mine off.
See, I don't know. Like a couple phones ago, it worked perfectly, and then now like they just made it stupider and stupider somehow, and like less intuitive. Audience score 45%. You're right.
Yeah, and I don't care what math you want to pull out of your ass. 45% isn't majority.
Yeah.
So it's like I
mean that would win you a presidential election if you're a Republican.
Yeah, if you're a Republican. But I just think like like you're creating a new story for new viewers.
Yeah.
That's fine. But most of the people that see Star Wars
Yeah.
aren't new view like the opening night people like they fought and clubbed their way to get tickets to watch this and they're just disappointed.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as episode 7 though, what would my defense that would be that I think it was intentionally a cut and paste of episode 4 because the idea was the prequels did like I think critics and fans agree sucked.
I like the prequels, but I like the actual storyline of the prequels.
Yeah, all
like,
that space diplomacy that they really gotcha.
Yeah,
all that senatorial process.
Yeah, but it sets everything up, and I liked all that.
Yeah.
There are annoying, shitty parts of the movie.
Yeah.
I think those parts overshadowed like the actual like drama of the movies and everything. But it does set up a lot of things.
There are parts. Obi-Wan's character I liked every time he was on screen.
Right.
I thought was good.
Yeah,
but
a lot of the characters ruined it for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but no, episode 7 was fine. Episode 8 was trash.
Yeah, but as far as episode 7 being like a cut and paste, like I think that's intentional. I think it's the idea that like they wanted to reground Star Wars.
Yeah, but no one complained about episode 7 being a cut and paste.
Yeah,
the only thing they complained about is like, oh, it's a cut and paste, but it's a good story.
Yeah,
you know, it didn't seem. None of the characters seemed rushed. There was no rushed plots. Like no crazy shit happened. They're like, we got to find Luke, and then they go to that. You know, like, all right, we'll find Luke.
But remember too, I mean, look at The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I don't know. Compare The Last Jedi to The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back wasn't a particularly interesting movie. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of just the middle one. I feel like that's Star Wars. Like the middle one's like just all right.
Right.
I don't know. Like that was. I remember the first time. Yeah, I kind of weirdly remember the first time I watched The Empire Strikes Back, and like the movie ended, and I was like, oh, that's it. Not much story even happens in that movie.
Yeah, and then A New Hope's kind of crazy to me because like I know exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And then like Luke like doesn't really learn anything. You're like, wait, when's he become like if you don't think about it a lot, like wait, when's he become a Jedi? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. I really like I think one of my favorite Star Wars things is how well and this is where I think the prequels super fail. I guess maybe not depending on how you think of it. But in the original movies and in the new trilogy, I feel like the way somebody fights like so exemplifies their character. One of my favorite scenes in episode 7, whatever we think of the name of it. What's it called? The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
In The Force Awakens, the way Kylo Ren fights is fucking awesome because he's pissed off. You know, he's almost unwillingly converted to the dark side. Like he really just like, you know, like Anakin Skywalker, like, you know, the being pissed off just took over him, and he fights like a fucking savage, and it's awesome to watch. He just two-handed hacks at people,
right.
and it's awesome, and it's the same in the first time when Luke fights Darth Vader. It's the same thing. Like he's like a wild man because he's like still struggling with, you know, he just learned, you know, sort of, or actually, I guess he knows does he just learn that Darth Vader's father, or is that his hand cut off first, then he learns that?
Hand cut off, then he learns it right after that.
Okay. Yeah, but he's pissed off. It's like Kylo Ren fighting. Like he's still struggling with like which way he's gonna fall. Which is sort of what they're saying with Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens. Like, you know, you see the conflict in The Last Jedi where he's sort of struggling if he's going to be, you know, which side he's going to fall on. And you can see the anger taking him over. Now Luke went the other way, but you see the same anger and stuff. Like you see the potential to go either way with both of them. And I just think it's awesome how, I don't know. I just think it's so well done versus a character like Rey, who's like, you know, who's clearly struggling to gain control of her life, and her fighting is just so much more controlled, and I don't know, just like disciplined looking, even though she's not really trained in it. But
right. So another complaint people have is like they're like, I don't like Adam Driver. He's terrible.
I love Adam Driver.
I love Adam Driver in everything I've
Yeah.
seen him in.
Yeah.
And like they're like, well, his character's so bland. Yeah, but watch him in other movies.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I like Kylo Ren. I think I like the character of Kylo Ren. I like Adam Driver.
Yeah, and they made fun of his pants, and it's like that's what martial artists wear.
Yeah.
like they wear those high waisted pants.
Yeah, no, I think he's great. What else am I going to talk about? I don't know. I feel like I've listened to way too many things about Star Wars now. So I'm in that situation where I don't even know what my opinions are anymore. I've just sort of been indoctrinated to all the stuff I've watched on YouTube about it now. I don't know. I got in this rabbit hole where I started watching. I said a few weeks ago, like a bunch of sort of film buffs on YouTube, and then but then YouTube puts you in this circle where like, it gives you suggested videos for all the same shit. So now now I've seen like 5 different film critic people's long-winded opinions on the Last Jedi because YouTube's like, oh, this guy likes hearing about the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
We're gonna show him all the videos.
So I've been watching this new show, and it's hard to catch up because each episode's like 25 minutes. I don't have 25 minutes in the car like you, so it's like more difficult. But it's called Legal Eagle. It's a lawyer. It's a lawyer.
I think I've seen like a couple of his videos.
Yeah, it's a lawyer that like talks about like what's good and bad about different movies and shows and everything.
Yeah.
So far it's like been My Cousin Vinny, and which I hear other lawyers say like that's like other than In the Well, like between the lawyers being in there, like that's one of the most like sound legal movies there are. And then like Better Call Saul is like pretty good too.
Okay. Yeah, that and there's a dude too who talks about the economics in movies. That I've seen some interest videos about like why like Wakanda wouldn't be economically feasible and stuff like that. And I've also the other because one of the channels I follow talked about The Hobbit. So now I've seen I haven't even seen all the Hobbit movies, but I've watched about 2 hours of videos about The Hobbit now. I've watched an entire Hobbit length movie about it, or YouTube video about it basically now.
The Hobbit movies are terrible.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch them now just to get through them. But I tried to watch the first one, I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah, you know what movie's coming out?
What's that?
And it's a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah,
he directs it and stars in it.
Really?
It's called The Mule.
Huh?
He mules cocaine for one of the cartels.
Wait, so this is the Clint Eastwood movie about Clint Eastwood sticking drugs up his ass?
No, it's in a truck.
Okay.
Yeah, he puts it in his truck and he drives back and forth for the
Interesting.
Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, they got Clint Eastwood. He's 88 years old. He looks old as shit. He's the star of the movie. But then it's based off a true story.
Huh.
It's about a guy in his 80s who muled drugs
Huh.
for the Sinaloa cartel. It's based off a true story.
What?
And he got like 4 years of prison.
What if the twist is that guy really was Clint Eastwood? That's really what he does with his life now.
Yeah. Yeah, so that movie looks pretty cool where he mules drugs at 88 years old.
Huh.
Yeah, and he's still like such a good actor. Like the preview, I'm like, oh my god, he like when he's scared, like when the cops get him,
Yeah.
you're like, oh okay, like you feel scared for him. So that movie's probably gonna be pretty good.
What's that old guy's in jail with Bill Cosby right now in their 80s?
Yeah, no, he's out of jail.
Okay.
He's out of jail. Yeah, he only served 2 years because he was too old and sickly.
Okay.
I think he just died.
Yeah, I wonder what's happening with Bill Cosby in jail.
I don't think he's in jail.
No.
Well, I mean, if he's in jail, he's in like he's
Like
gonna
some sort of white collar prison.
white collar prison. He plays tennis every day, and then he'll be out in a couple months because he's too sickly, like he's blind. He's walking around having a good time, and as soon as he gets caught up, he's holding on to his daughter and a lawyer, and he can't walk, he can't see.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So I don't know. We should find a day somewhere and watch 9 hours of the Hobbit movies.
Nah, pass. They're just so bad. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
waste my time on it.
Yeah, I don't know. There was watching all the videos. There were some funny parts. The one was because they talked about, and like now that I kind of want to see all the things people are talked about it now. Like the one interesting thing was that it was originally going to be 2 movies, and then they split it into 3 for storytelling purposes.
Right.
Even though clearly,
The book's 109 pages.
yeah, even though clearly, apparently the technology that they used for the movies was so expensive that was a big part of the cost. So basically, making 3 movies didn't really cost much more than making 2 movies, but they can make another $1 billion on that 3rd movie. So the storytelling thing's bullshit. But shit, I forgot where I was going with that. I had a more interesting point of that.
There's one cool thing
Yeah.
in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
So they're in the Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
The Lord of the Rings, the people? Who are they called?
Which ones?
The people that walk around. Fellowship. The Fellowship's
Yeah.
Fellowship's walking around and they walk past 3 trolls.
Yeah.
Right, in Lord of the Rings. And then The Hobbit, I was watching The Hobbit on like TNT or some shit like that, like just doing work or something like that.
Yeah.
And you see like the hobbits, they're going to get eaten by these trolls and like all this other shit. And then they trick them and they get caught in the sun.
Yeah.
And then they turn to stone. In the Lord of the Rings, which is made prior to this, they have the same 3 trolls like doing
As
like
stone?
the same, as
Okay.
stone. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I like that. It was pretty cool. Other than that, the movie's trash.
Oh, that was, yeah. So they split it from 2 into 3 movies, and they have this great scene to exemplify sort of how much no one gave a shit by the end of it. That it's Orlando Bloom, and he's like shooting a scene, and then they like ask someone like, wait, is this for the 2nd movie or the 3rd movie? and then they said something, and then he basically like, yeah, I really don't know anymore. I don't know. But yeah, so I kind of want to see him. Although I want to rewatch the Lord of the Rings because there's really the whole parts I forget.
The Lord of the Rings, all of them, every minute that those movies are good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we were debating because me and Kelly wanted to watch it maybe like last winter, and we were kind of thinking about it. I was like, well, should we watch like the Lord of the Rings came out first, so should we watch Lord of the Rings first? Or like the Hobbit, like story wise, comes first. So should we watch the Hobbit first? So we tried to watch the first Hobbit movie and we literally tried 4 times and we just kept falling asleep.
It's terrible.
I don't know. The thing that sucks about it too is that apparently Guillermo del Toro had a whole plan to make 2 movies, which probably would have been better. First off, him instead of Peter Jackson, who like admittedly was like over it by that point. Apparently what happened was Guillermo del Toro wanted to make 2 movies, and he had a totally different tone in plan for the movies. And then after 18 months of pre-production, like said it was taking too long and left is the story. But the theory is that they didn't like his vision, so they basically kicked him out.
Right.
And then they were like, okay, we got to make the movies tomorrow. So then Peter Jackson, with no pre-production, immediately started making the movies.
Right.
And also throughout all the previous 18 months of work.
Oh yeah, it's so jokey and childish, and the CGI is bad.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 parts that stood out to me. One's the barrel scene.
Mhm.
They all go into these
Where
wine.
there's like rubber banding all over the place.
No, it's like they go in wine barrels to try to escape, and then the wine barrels are like floating down a river, and they're fighting orcs in these wine barrels. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And there's other part where they're fighting this big giant like orc monster sort of thing, and like the orcs like falling through, and they're like bouncing off the other fat orcs like boom, like there's actual boom sounds. So they fall on like a fat monster. It's like boom, and the guy like takes his axe and like cuts like a monster in half. Like,
Yeah.
and there's another part where Legolas, the tower falls and like covers a whole 2 sides of a mountain. Right, so now it's a bridge.
Yeah.
And then it starts collapsing, and as it collapses, he uses those stones as steps to get up to the thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that in like shots. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so bad.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. I have to show this guy a closer look is the one YouTube channel. He does a 5-part series on why the Hobbit, like the whole Hobbit series is bad, and just some parts just take my head were just really funny. He talks about the one part, I think it's in the 2nd movie, where they're fighting out of like Moria, like again with like all these orcs, and And he's talking about like, oh, and then half the party's in the top row and half the party's in the bottom row. Who's on which row? Fuck you. It doesn't matter because now they're in the same row. Like, I don't know. And it's just like, he just pointed out it was like 10 minutes that could have been edited in any order and it would have made the same sense. I don't know.
Right.
So I kind of just want to watch them all now, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to like. It's gonna have to be like a rare like a Sunday that I'm off. I'm gonna have to do it first thing in the morning, like
No kids.
when I'm awake. I don't know, but
Yeah. I if you guys do Lord of the Rings, I'll
Yeah.
come over for a Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
I think I have the DVDs.
okay.
No, don't think I have
Yeah.
the DVDs.
So we should watch them at some point.
Yeah, watch all. Well, we need like breakfast and then pizza, and then we're gonna gain like 5 or 6 pounds.
Yeah.
I would definitely do it.
All right.
Yeah, they're all like entertaining.
All right. We'll set that up. Yeah, because I turned the one on one night and I like woke up in the middle of the one movie and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Like there's just all parts of some of these movies I've basically forgotten at this point. So I don't know. I just remember seeing the third one in the theaters and like it was just so long and it was just like, I don't even know. I had to relearn how to walk.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of movies are that long nowadays. It just seemed really long at the time. I feel like movies weren't that long then.
Yeah, it's just they fight the last battle in Return of the King, and then there's like another hour of movie.
Yeah.
You're like, what? What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, I've seen and again, I kind of want to rewatch it now, but I saw somebody make a big defense on my YouTube rabbit hole now of the Hobbit videos now about why the ending of the third Lord of the Rings was important, even though like I think a lot of people really felt like it dragged, including me.
Right.
That all the saying goodbyes, like why they were important.
Well, yeah, the elves
Yeah.
are leaving Middle Earth.
Yeah.
You know, they're leaving. That's why we don't have elves now.
Yeah. The fucking Frodo.
Yeah, Frodo leaves. And then I guess assume like humans exist only because the dwarves are dead. Dwarves are gone by the time this orcs are gone. The elves leave, so it's basically humans and hobbits.
Yeah.
So I guess somewhere along the line, hobbits die off too.
Did you know that even so forget the film adaptation of the Hobbit story we have nowadays, but the original Hobbit story isn't what's currently in print for the Hobbit. So the story is that J.R.R. Tolkien basically wrote the Hobbit when his kids were little. So he wrote it for kids, like basically supposed to be like a book you read a chapter every night sort of thing.
Right.
And then right before the first Lord of the Rings book came out, and he essentially wrote Lord of the Rings also for his kids, but they were grown up by then. So it was more of an adult story. But he edited The Hobbit to include some continuity things to Lord of the Rings. Because when he wrote The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings like was not a thought. And then when he wrote Lord of the Rings, he like retconned some things in The Hobbit. Like apparently the scene with Gollum, Gollum was a little more like Gollum wasn't like evil and twisted. He was like a little more playful in the original Hobbit, and it was just some ring. It was just some magic ring. It wasn't like the ring. So we sort of like reworked that a little bit to flow into the Lord of the Rings, and where Gandalf goes off to deal with, is it Sauron or Saruman that he deals with in the Hobbit?
Saruman.
Saruman? Yeah. When he goes to deal with Saruman in the original Hobbit, that was just some dude. Like it wasn't Saruman. It was just some random wizard. But then once he was writing Lord of the Rings, he's like, oh, I should make that random wizard Saruman.
Yeah.
So that's in the book, but it wasn't in the original book. So there's like little changes like that.
So out of all the movies, my favorite scene, 9 hours. My favorite scene is when like Denethor is basically like, you have no power here, Gandalf the Grey, and he's like, bitch, Gandalf the White, and like he turns white and like the sun shines brighter and shit. So that was pretty cool. And another thing is the what's the fire demon monster that he fights?
The can't think of what it's called.
Yeah. So people were like, that old man can't fight that thing.
Yeah.
Basically, they're two different sides of the coin. Like they're the same power.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was reading about that before. Because Gandalf's not like a human that uses magic. He's a wizard. That's a totally different race of people or of things.
It's only like 7 wizards too.
Yeah,
And he's not.
he's basically an angel, like in
Yeah.
our world.
He's not. He's not magical. He
Yeah.
does have his magical light thing,
Yeah.
but he's not magical. He's just been around so long that he uses knowledge
Yeah,
that he's gained to like know what's going to happen. Like he uses experience.
yeah, but it's basically this pantheon where he's essentially the equivalent of like an angel in our world, like one of the archangels is like that's what he is, and then that thing he fought was also like an angel level being. So it was like a similar power being to him. Why can't I think of it? Oh, the
Balrog.
Balrog. That's it.
Yeah, Balrog.
Apparently there's a debate about that too. I don't know where I read this or I was watching about this about whether the Balrog has wings in the book, because apparently Tolkien describes like these wing-like shadows. So there's a debate whether that means that the Balrog has wings, or it just the way it was standing, like it threw off shadows like it had wings.
Maybe it had like huge back.
Maybe it's apparently an area of debate.
Yeah.
So because it's like 2 lines in the whole like 1,000 pages, so and it's never like expanded on in any way. But yeah, so watch the Hobbit movies. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of movies I want to watch now after watching all these film critic dudes talking
Yeah.
about random shit. But
Have you seen the Pulp Fiction Brett Kavanaugh thing?
no.
It's pretty funny. They have Brett Kavanaugh like giving responses, but Jules Winfield is like when he's talking to the people that have the briefcase, like Marcellus Wallace. It's so funny. It's a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about the Kavanaugh stuff last week at all.
We
I feel
did.
like we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, same. I don't know. But he's a judge now, so that happened. I really think it was gonna happen. I really thought they were just gonna keep blocking judges until like the next president.
No,
Was
they voted him in.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Yeah. So one Republican voted no, and one Democrat voted yes.
Really, I wonder what Democrat voted yes.
I don't know. And I think it was like a woman one.
Really?
No, there was a woman Republican that voted no.
Okay. Yeah, I really thought a few Republicans were gonna go the other way.
Yeah. If they did, they would have like, he would have been blocked.
Yeah.
But one of the Democrats voted yes, which is really weird
Yeah.
to me.
I don't know. I'm surprised. So I don't know. I don't really understand the implications. Like, I mean, can they really make like abortion illegal and shit?
I don't know, but here's what I think. No matter what you want to do with your body, it's no one else's business.
I agree with that.
If
yeah.
you want to shoot your veins up with 100 pounds of heroin every night, go ahead. If you want to get an abortion, go ahead. As long as, all that stuff's not coming out of taxes,
Yeah. What's the problem? If you use heroin, it eventually is going to come out of taxes when
Yeah.
you're in the hospital.
But, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
as long as it's not affecting other people, do what you want.
Well, that's part of the issue with abortion is that it's something that gets government funding in some degree. So that's part of the argument. Like could there be a soft ban on abortion where essentially it's not illegal, but like there's no subsidy for it, so it costs like thousands of dollars. So like essentially poor people just can't get abortions.
All right. I mean, it's not actually that expensive of a procedure, depending on how early it is.
Yeah, but is that 100% out of pocket people are paying for?
No, well, a lot of people use their health insurance. To do
Yeah,
it.
but what if health insurance isn't allowed to cover it? Like that, like that's what I mean. They could financially ban it.
Right.
But
like it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me.
I don't know. I mean, I've known people who've had abortions.
Yeah.
So,
But did it affect you?
I mean, I guess indirectly. I don't know, but
It didn't.
yeah,
It didn't. If we'll say her name's Stacy,
Yeah.
your friend Stacy
Yeah.
has an abortion.
yeah,
So she has an abortion. She doesn't tell you. Uh, and at the same time, you're heading to get McDonald's, and then you drive home.
Mm.
You eat your McDonald's, but she's just gotten an abortion.
Mm.
And then you find out about it later. It didn't affect you. You still eat your McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a silly thing, but like it does even if it doesn't affect if it affects you a little bit,
Yeah.
it's none of your goddamn business what people
Yeah.
do with their body. You know, there's so many things.
I mean, I'm not arguing against abortion.
Yeah, I know, I know, but I'm just saying like people trying to tell other people what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned before, I'm a pretty liberal guy.
Yeah.
But you know what I hate? Liberals who tell other people what they can and can't do. Like
Yeah.
you can't be racist. You can't hate this person. You know what? Go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
If they want to be, they can do what they want.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just well, another thing about how the Supreme Court works, and I mean, I guess this stuff comes up eventually sometimes because they're in power for so long, but from what I understand, one of the things about the fear of like, the abortion stuff, or I'm sure gay rights stuff will be called into question, is that it's not like, you can have a Republican majority and then they can just, like they're not just like, like they're not like the king. Like they can't just be like, okay, we have all the Republican bros now. Now we can ban abortion.
Right.
Like, that's not how it works. Like for them to be able to have an opinion on something, like, there needs to be a court case that gets elevated through all these levels of judiciary bodies and eventually gets to them, and has to have a reason with some unique reason for them to have to make a ruling on it.
And there has to be a precedent for
Yeah.
it.
So there has to be some, like, and I mean, I'm sure this can be manipulated in some way, but essentially, like, there has to be this whole sequence of events that happens for them to even be allowed to make a ruling on something. So it's not like next week, like, abortion will be banned. Like there might not be a big abortion case that, has some special thing happen where it has to be elevated to the Supreme Court. They only hear like again, I kind of want to look it up, but like it's not like they hear like a 100,000 cases a year or something crazy. Like, they only hear a certain amount of cases per year. One of them would have to pertain to something in particular that, like, they wanted to affect.
Yeah, but the case law that they would use would be Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't have to follow. Like, they're the final arbiters. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have to follow that. They
So
don't have to follow the precedent.
Yeah, that's what the defense attorney would use that as case law.
Yeah.
And you go, well, it worked here, but then pretty much you can't say, well, it's not working here.
Yeah.
Well, why is it good enough for this? So it's like people are worried about, like, he wants to overturn it.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't just overturn it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not a thing that's, even with the court as it is, it's still a thing that's not likely to happen.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess you don't even want to take the chance, like,
Right.
like, you don't even want the possibility of it happening, but I don't know. But I guess there's other things to worry about.
Yeah. It's just they shouldn't be, like, just my opinion is that, like, people on the Supreme Court, there shouldn't be liberal and conservative Supreme Court members. There should just be law-abiding court members. That's all it should be.
Yeah, like that's another where the incentive system's broken. Like, I think we talked a little bit last week about that Senator Flake guy that said about how he was only calling for an FBI investigation because he wasn't running for re-election, that it doesn't benefit him in any way to, that didn't benefit him in any way to, to work with the other side, as a politician, and that's, I think we talked a little bit about, that's sort of what it boils down to, is this shitty incentive system where, in order to keep your job, you have to be an asshole.
Right.
So, like, I mean, you need to keep your job. So sometimes you're going to be an asshole. You're going to make bad laws. You're going to do things you don't believe in because otherwise you're just going to not have a job and somebody else is going to do it instead, who is going to play by the rules. I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, we were talking about it. I worked like all friggin' day on Saturday. I got, like, stuck there late. but we're talking about the Kavanaugh thing, and like, and the one girl who was first time I met her seemed like super like liberal, and you know, I was saying, you know, I mean, we both agreed that he shouldn't be the judge, but we had like
Right.
slightly different reasons for it.
He doesn't have the temperament to be a
Yeah, that's
judge.
what I think. Yeah, so we had like slightly different reasons for it, but like then we were talking about like I was talking about the flake thing, and that was my thing is like, you know, there's stuff that is probably the right thing to do at work. Like, you know, when we're, when I work as a floor nurse, like, you know, there might be a patient who's in like a ton of pain and you're having issues trying to get somebody to order more pain medicine for them because like, you know, that person's not right there seeing what's going on with the patient. So like the best thing to do for that patient would be to like, you know, give him extra pain medicines without a pain medicine order, which, you know, is a big deal basically, you know, to do. But like, nobody's going to do it. No one's going to lose their fucking job to give this one person like extra pain medicine. I mean, not that you probably would, but like, no one's going to take the chance.
Right.
So, and it's like the same thing. Like, I mean, so, you know, why should we expect a politician to like lose their job to like do something that's the right thing? I mean, if you just heavily incentivize something to do the wrong thing, they're going to do the wrong thing. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Um, but, um, but yeah, same. So they would same thing. The Supreme Court judges, like it's just all so it's just all tied into the same system. I don't know how you could find a way to elect neutral judges. Like I don't know how it's possible.
I think and my opinion is on politics and judges and everything. I think after 58, you shouldn't be allowed to run for anything. Like 58, maybe 60, because you're voting for yourself and you're in it for yourself and you're in it for your generation
Yeah,
and everything. It's like the people running for, like, I have to look at people that are going to change the shape for my children,
yeah,
that are going to shape the country for my children, and not everybody thinks that way. You know, it's like, what do I have on these? What do we vote for? Who's going to give me this short term success?
yeah.
It's like we want for our country long term success.
FYI, as we're talking about this, JD is wearing a shirt with George Washington with American sunglasses with fireworks in the background, holding a hot dog.
Right.
So
American as fuck.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So I mean, I could see two ways that one. I mean, then that's a little scary for older people because then they're not represented at all. So they have no representation in government. So that's not a good thing. But I do think there should be maybe some upward age limit because and if you think about it too, I mean, it's just about getting like fresh ideas in and stuff. Um,
But yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. You're
Yeah.
right. They're still going to get represented.
yeah,
But look at your mom.
yeah.
Maybe not your mom. She, has a grandchild. But do you think she's in touch enough to make decisions for the best outcome for your son?
Well, I think she's well. I mean, again, I mean, she's like the director of a surgery center. So I mean, I think she. I mean, she probably is. But like, so
But-
let's take Kelly's mom,
Right.
who like, I mean, they're about the same age, but she leaves the house once a week. Like, no, she's not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you know what I
But-
mean? Like
yeah.
like people, like the best way to
Yeah.
do it, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah,
Once you're 60,
yeah,
I don't think you're in touch enough to be able to make decisions for future generations.
I don't know. I mean, that's always a debate in a lot of areas, like experience versus, because, there's a certain amount of, and maybe this is good or bad when we talk about the political structure, there's that certain amount of institutional knowledge that's important. Like you need people that have been around for a while that know how to get things done.
Yeah. But
You
I think
know?
if you want to be in politics, I think 30 years in politics, you should, like, if you start early enough,
Yeah.
30 years, by the time you're 50, 55, you could pass that generational knowledge down.
Yeah.
But then, it's proven time and time again with the economy and everything. Technology moves too fast, and people need to be educated so that they can use that technology to their advantage. Any technology, like anything.
Like Hillary Clinton with her emails. That's why,
Yeah.
why she lost. But no, but I do think, and I think the upside of it, when we're talking about, what how big is the economy now? Is it hundreds of billions of dollars or like trillions of dollars?
Trillions.
So when you're talking about something that big, I think one thing that would probably be helpful is to have guys retire earlier, but like take care of them for life.
Right.
I mean, so what if we pay a few hundred senators?
Oh no, I'm okay with pensions.
Yeah.
No. I think term and age limits.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with pensions.
Yeah.
Because that'll help everyone. But the thing is, like most of the senators and congressmen that are in, the majority of them, they're old.
Yeah.
They're old. They understand, and they think, like, for instance, a good example is marijuana is scary.
Yeah.
Younger senators and congressmen know there are benefits, and without making it able to be researched to find out those benefits,
Yeah.
I think we're doing our future generations a disservice.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's just one example.
I just feel like there's different like look at like I don't know. Look at like the Roman political ladder. Like you would rise up the ladder and then you become a consul, and then you would like drop off. Like you would do like you'd still be respected. You'd still be in politics.
Right.
But you wouldn't you'd be like you'd be you'd be like an ex consul and you would have power, but you wouldn't be running the government anymore.
Right.
Like I don't know. That's I feel like there's models where you can still keep the experienced people around, but not have them making all the final decisions about everything.
The votes.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for the second after hiatus. Whole week Costa. I guess season 2.
Yeah. Oh, season 2. I like it.
Yeah, we'll go with
Nice.
season 2.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. I think my voice is actually finally going. But, well, tune in next week.
Oh, we can't stop.